Now, y'all already know what time it is. It is time for the mess. So let's get into it, you guys. What's going on, you guys? It's be your boy, Scotty by Nature TV, and we're here for a brand new episode of Yes for the Mess, where we talk about celebrity gossip, hot topics, and all things reality TV based. What's going on, you guys? I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful hump day, and I plan on doing the exact same. Now, before we get into today's mess, let's talk about what we got coming up on the platform. Now, as you guys already know, The Real Housewives of Atlanta returns on May the 7th, which means the Whether You Like It or Not panel returns on May the 8th. Make sure you guys are tuned in for the Atlanta edition of the Whether You Like It or Not panel, because it will be everything. And it stars Scotty by Nature TV, giving you the real tea, Josiah's World TV, Yocrates, Simply Sakina, okay? And Really Be TV, all right? Also, special guests Aaron Wiles Out, El Teddy 27, and Reggie Ortiz, as well as other pop-up people that will probably pop up throughout the season. So make sure you guys tune in on May the 8th, and it all starts right here on the platform that it started on, Scotty by Nature TV. Also, if you are into LGBT web series, make sure you guys give this one a watch. Chasing Dallas. It comes on every Thursday night at 8/7 Central on the Chasing Reality platform on YouTube. I do a panel on this show every Thursday night with T, Jamar, Carl, Jeremy, and Tremel. So make sure you guys tune in every Thursday night for our Chasing Dallas panel. If you have not seen the Chasing Dallas panel before, I just made a playlist for it early this morning, so make sure you guys go over there and catch it and watch every single panel review that we do on this show. They're always entertaining. So with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and get into the mess. Now, today we're going to be talking about K. Michelle and Memphitz, okay? That's who we're talking about, K. Michelle and Memphitz. Now, Memphitz did an interview with Shawn Perez. He has a YouTube channel called Power Move Makers, and he talked about his relationship with K. Michelle, how it started, where it ended up, and how he's still denying that he ever put his hands on K. Michelle. So if you're interested in more Shawn Perez interviews, I will put the link down in the comment section and in the description box, so you guys can go over there to his platform. I have to give him credit for using this interview, okay? I have to. So that's pretty much the gist of that. So make sure you guys tune into his platform for more interviews, because I saw that he had way more interviews. This popped up on my timeline, so I felt like it would be interesting to discuss. What we will be doing, we're only going to get the excerpts of his conversation about K. Michelle, because there's different excerpts. So we're only going to talk about K. Michelle. I'm going to get my commentary, let the interview play, and keep it moving. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into what Shawn and Memphitz had to say about the very beginning of the K. Michelle and Memphitz relationship, where he said that everybody told him not to date her. Let's go ahead and get into it, you guys.
So let's start from the business side before it got personal. Where'd you meet K. Michelle?
I met her at the office at Sony. We had our Jive had already moved over to RCA, so we were in the new Sony building, and that's where I met her. I was walking through the office doing something, and she was actually in Wayne Williams' office with her attorney Erica Wright. She was in his office, and when I walked past the office, she just saw me and she was like, "Hey." I went in the office and I was speaking to Wayne, and while I was in there, Kay was looking at me. I looked at her. I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" He was telling me about she was an artist here, and she was an artist trying to get on. And I was like, "Cool." And then she got up and she was like, "Let me talk to you right quick." So I was like, "All right." So she took me in the office. She's like, "I'm about to sing for you." I was like, "All right, come on.
Oh, did she know who you was at the time?
She told me she knew who I was. She's like, "Ain't you the dude from Memphis? You from my city?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm from Memphis." She's like, "You came here and you put out this, you put out that." She's like, "I know who you are." I was like, "Okay, cool." She's like, "You about to listen to me sing right now?" I was like, "Let's go." So she grabs my arm. I take her to the conference room, and we're in the conference room, and she starts singing. I was like, "Whoa!" So I was like, I had never heard nothing this good in my life. I was like, "Yo, you want some? What is going on? You can sing. You can sing." Like, she's like, "I told you." She's like, I was like, "What you doing in there with Wayne?" Like, she like, "I'm just at a meeting with," she talking about somebody else. I was like, "Well, I'm about to slide you then." I was like, "You ain't leaving." She's like, "All right." She's like, let's go in there. I'm telling them, I'm like, "Wayne, can I sign her? Is this free?" He's like, "Yeah, I just met her." He's like, "You like her like that?" I was like, "Yes." So I signed her to Hits Committee. And that's when it started. And it was gold, and I was loving it.
Okay. So everything going smooth.
He was the first lady. Yeah, first lady of Hits Committee was K. Michelle.
At what point did it get personal between you two?
It got personal after we fucked. No.
How long were y'all doing business before?
I can say that better than that. No, basically, it was just like it was a tension building up through over time. It was like I was doing so many things at the time. I was on TV. I was doing the deal. I was on BT, and I leave BT, and I was kind of going back to the office working. So I never really had time for nothing like that. So I was like, I was on my prime time type stuff. I was playing 2 sports. So she just used to be like, I was taking her to events and I was introducing her as the first lady. I'm like, y'all, this is my little sister, this little sister K. Michelle, first lady of Hits Committee. And she kind of got tired of that intro. And she was like, I don't like that intro. When you be introducing me as your little sister and first lady and all that. She was like, we need to be together. She was like, you see what Jay-Z and Beyonce doing out here? She was like, if we do this together, we can be big. She was like, stop telling people that. Like, and I was like, you are my little sis. Like, I would never do that. What are you saying? She's like, that's when the sexual thing started coming up. And, and I was like, I think I just lacked guidance on that one, because I should have asked some people. So, well, people did tell me, don't do that. Like, that's your artist. That is forbidden. And I think the word forbidden kind of hit me. Like, I was like, forbidden? I'm thinking my ego is jumping. I'm like, man, I made all this money. I done this, I done that. Niggas trying to tell me who my girlfriend can't be. It's like, don't do that one, bro. Nigga, do you know you always got a different girl around? Why would you do that? Like, that's your money. Like, don't do that. Anyway, one day I just was like, she was like, yo, come up to, we had some kind of success we had, and she said, come up to my room and let's just have some drinks and stuff. And we in a truck full of people at the company, and they was like, you're not going up to her room with her to have drinks, are you? I was like, I'm just gonna have one drink. Y'all relax. So I go up to the room, never came back. I never came. It was good advice they was giving me.
Okay, so that was the first part where he talked about how they met. He said that he was forbidden to date K. Michelle, sleep with K. Michelle, whatever he was forbidden from. He was forbidden. That's what he do know. Because in the industry, it's never a good idea to have a relationship with your artist. It comes in between the money, it comes in between the business, and then eventually it comes in between the relationship. So even though, he was saying that he was going around introducing her as his little sister of the label, and she was saying allegedly that stop saying that. Stop saying I'm your little sister, baby. Like, we need to be like a Mariah Carey and Tommy and Mottola, or Beyonce and Jay-Z. Like, that's the type of relationship that I want. That's what I want. And so, they had sex before they even started business, apparently, from what he said. And the people was not with that. They wasn't happy with that. He went up for a drink and he never came back. Okay, so that's what he said about the first part. In regards to him meeting K. Michelle and all that other stuff. Okay. So the next thing was, after he was talking about how everybody told him not to date K. Michelle, he started to say that him sleeping with K. Michelle gave K. Michelle the same power that he had. You want to know what he means by that? Let's listen in on what he had to say on this part.
Yeah, I never came back from the room. Yeah, I called down and was like, y'all just pull off. And they was like, no. I was like, pull off. I got my business. Yeah, and that's how that got started, buddy. And the next day at work was never the same. It was never the same after that, because it was like I didn't realize what I had just done. I had just gave her the same power I had. I just gave her my power. So now she was like looking at me like, you're not about to tell me like what to do, and me and you was just what we was just doing last night. And I was looking at her like, oh, you want to use that? So it was just
okay. So I gotta ask, and I love the way you put that. You was like, I didn't realize what I had done. Yeah. I had legitimately gave her my power, because now it's no longer artist
Not my
executive.
artist. Yeah, it's not that no more. It's nigga, we on the same level. Like you be sexing me, like you think you about to be talking to me like you talk to the other artist or somebody you just met today. You know, it just started getting crazy. I would listen to other, you know, and I'm an A&R, so I'm listening to other female artists, and she would be mad. Like I'm like, what are you doing? This is my job. Like just like I found you and signed, like how I signed you. My job is to continue doing that. She's like, well, no more females. I'm the only female on this label. Like I'm the only female on hits committee. Like I don't want to see no more females on hits committee. I was like, what? So that's when it started. Everything started clashing. I was like, you know, people looking at me like, K be talking to you a little different these days. Like y'all didn't do nothing, did you? I'm like, oh God.
Yeah. Okay. So real talk. How long did you know? How long was it before you knew? You as a man, knew. Damn, this is bad. This ain't gonna work out good for me.
The next day.
What do you mean the next day? The next day after that hotel?
We had fun. We woke up. It was just like I could tell in her eyes that she knew that I had just given her my powers. I could tell. So I was just waiting.
The morning after.
Yeah, I could tell. It was like right after. It's like right after the nut clarity kicks in. Yeah, and that's when I knew. I was like, uh-oh. I was like, now I'm kind of like susceptible to whatever she throws, because now I'm respecting her as I respect her differently than just my artist yesterday. Now it's my artist and it's my, like, we moving. Now we moving. It was cool. It was like we was in a relationship for a little while. Like it was getting like that. She moved in with me in New York, so now she's in my place. I used to, I had a condo in New York, 72nd in York. I was on the Upper East Side. I was living like a little, on the up and coming rich dude, So I had windows everywhere, and it's like I moved her into that, and it was almost like it was hers too now. It was like she was moving my friends around, they like, boy, you got a sheriff in this house. I was like, oh yeah. Well, she moving in, so, and it just became like that. It was like I had real love for her, so it was like, but it started getting our personalities, and we both from the same city, so it's like. It just started clashing. It just started getting like, wait, I'm the boss. Like, I'm the boss. Like, wait a minute. It's my label. Like, wait, it's my label. I'm like, whoa. Oh, I done fucked up. Yeah, so it was like that. That's how it was. Yeah.
How long was
but now all in like 2020, what is it? Hindsight 2020, I'm like, it's part of the story. It's part of the story. Like I can look back at my beginnings in the music business, and I know where I came from, but I also got to a certain point, and I didn't listen to people that told me not to do a certain thing, and I did it anyway. And nigga, you get your punishment for that. Like I'll never do it again. Like I will never ever. And I'm glad I got it over with early. I hate all the stuff that happened from it, because it kind of tarnished my name in ways that I can never get back. But, and I stand on it to this day that I never, ever put my hands on her, ever.
What's up, guys?
So in this particular instance, he was saying that by sleeping with K. Michelle, it gave her the power, gave her the same power that he had. He was basically saying that in this part of the story, Kay was telling him that, well, you can sign whoever you want to, but you can't sign no more females. Or, he moved her into his condo in New York. She was staying there. It was cool. They was in a little relationship. He really had love for her. He really cared for her. But they began to clash. Their personalities clashed. They're both from Memphis. They both got the same type of attitude. So, of course, they were going to clash. But he still stands firm on the fact that he never put his hands on her. And this is where he loses me. Because it's like, girl, you put your hands on that lady. And to this day, I still feel like you put your hands on that lady. She ain't got no reason to be lying on you. You ain't nobody to lie on. You put your hands on that lady. So you need to just go on and own up to this shit and really admit it. I honestly feel like he must have really blacked out and forgot what he did, because he know he put his hands on her. He know he did. We all know that he did, so you need to own it. But child, we're gonna move on to the next part of the interview where he said that he got fired and lost his labor deal after he slept with K. Michelle. So let's get into this part of the interview.
Were y'all together before you broke up?
I would say it was getting close to 8 months. And then that's when all hell kind of broke loose with the TV show and stuff, all the stuff. I met Toya, and she was like, she's like, wait, you cheating on me with this girl from TV? Like, and I was like, no. I'm watching it. She's like, we watch her on TV. What you doing? Like, you know her? You met her? You ran into her? I was like, yeah, I ran into her at a party. And we friends, we talk sometimes, and then that's when it was kind of like, like she's like, I want off this label now. I was like, you can't just get off the label like that. I can't just go up to the label and say she's off the label because she doesn't like something that's going on personally in my life. And so, because I'm like, and then I feel like she started figuring out like, oh, you weren't supposed to touch me, were you? You weren't supposed to, like, with your job and all that. You weren't supposed to. Because I started being like, no, I can't do that. I can't just go up there and let you go. She's like, oh, you're going to let me go. She's like, I go up there myself. And I'm like, no, don't do that.
So, okay, so I'm going to ask you man to man.
Yeah.
Was you doing something with Toya at that time?
No, not at the time. Not at the time. But we were just talking. Yeah, we were just talking. We had just met. We were new friends. And I just was like, she was in a relationship, and she was in a relationship with some this NFL guy, and I was in a relationship with K. Michelle. But we met like single. We met each other we met each other, and we were both in a relationship. So we were just talking from there. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I didn't know this part of your story, so bear with me.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say a lot, but the straw that broke the camel's back between you and K. Michelle was she thought you were talking to Toya?
She thought I was in a yeah. Which to be honest, I was like I was talking to her almost in a way that I was like I don't like this situation I'm in. I told her what I had done. I was like, I think I done messed up because if this goes bad, my job is in jeopardy. My, the way people look at me at my job, like you fucked up one of the artists, nigga. Your own artist too? Like, that's a liability. Like, I knew it was trouble. I was like, oh no, I've done something bad. So I was kind of telling her like that. She was telling me that she didn't really want to be in the relationship she was in. At the time, I didn't know, she told me that her affiliation with Wayne, and she used to be married to Wayne. So I was like, oh, okay. So we had already been talking so long, a couple months, about what was going on in our lives that we was, it was like, I was kind of running to her and she was kind of running to me. So we were both in relationships, but we had this mutual thing where we were running to each other for something that we didn't really want to be in. And that's the relationship we had. Yeah.
Obviously, K. Michelle is living with you at the time.
Yes.
Was there an explosion? Was there something that happened that finally you asked her to leave?
Yeah, I just was like, I told her I don't want to do this no more. I was like, I don't want to be in a relationship with my artist. Like, it just feels weird. It's like I'm talking to you about music all day. We're in the studio, then we're at home in the bed. We still talking about music. I just was getting annoyed a little bit. I was just like, I don't want to do this no more. Like, this is too much. Like, I want to come home and hear something totally different from who I'm at home with. It's in my bed. I'm going to sleep. Like, hey, love, my single is coming out. We just was talking about that all day long. So I just let's talk about something different. So you can at least trick me that I'm not in the same bed with my artist that we was just in the studio all day with everybody acting like we're not doing in the bed together right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was just a lot, bro.
Okay, so you asked her to leave.
Yeah, well, it happened the actual blow up happened in Memphis.
Okay,
actual blow up happened in Memphis. Yeah, the actual blow up happened in Memphis, and we were at a car show or something like that. And she just got upset with me. She was like, I told her she had kind of embarrassed me. She was fussing with somebody outside, and I just kind of like, I was like, yo, you keep fussing with people that I've made relationships with. You every time I come outside, it's some kind of argument going on, and I was like, I feel like this is I can't. That's not my personality. I'm like, it's like you're misrepresenting me with your aggressiveness, and I'm aggressive too, but I'm not. I'm still a people person. You know, like it was a non-people person thing going on, and I was just like, that ain't me. I was like, I'm done. I'm tired. I can't. I'm tired of going to fix stuff. I'm talking to gangsters, telling them no, she didn't mean it like that, bro. I'm like, you need to get your girl. I'm like, I can't be in conversations about like this every day about you. Like, I'm done. I can't do it no more. And that's when it's been a long time. I kind of leave it alone, but that's when she kind of rushed me when I said that I was done. I was like, I'm out the door. I got halfway to the door, and here comes a flying iron. So I was like, uh-oh. Yeah. So it was like, it kind of turned into something crazy. I was like, oh my God, what have I done? And that's when it blew up. That's when the job gets back to the job. That's when all these things start happening. I get fired. I'm like, this is a liability. It's like, tell us you did not have sexual relations with your artist. And I was like, dang. And it's like, you're done. You're done. We got to let you go.
Okay, so you get fired from the label. Did you lose your deal too?
Kind of lost it. I lost my deal. I lost my job. I was trying to get new jobs, but every time I would walk up to a company, they was asking me like, did you really hit that girl? I was like, no.
What's up, guys?
Okay, so the incident happened in Memphis. It did not happen in New York. So that's exactly what K. Michelle said. The incident happened in Memphis. He said that she embarrassed him. They was at a car show. She was fussing with people that he knew, and he was pissed off about it because she was heavily confrontational with the person. Okay, and he was already, he also mentioned the fact that K. Michelle thought that he was messing around with Toya right at the time that they were together, but they wasn't messing around, so to speak. They were both in relationships at the time that he and Toya were talking. She was dating an NFL player. He was dating K. Michelle. They were both unhappy in their relationships. She wasn't happy with her man. He wasn't happy with the relationship that he was in. He wanted a different type of relationship based off of what he said. He was saying that, she was my artist. I'm sleeping with my artist. All we talking about is music. We in the studio all day. I come home, we still talking about music. So he grew tired of that, so to speak. And so, they were both coming to each other talking about it, and it made K. Michelle believe that he was messing around with Toya. They was watching her on TV together and stuff like that. Do I believe that they were messing around, like having sex with each other? I don't think so. But at the very least, there was an emotional affair going on between him and Toya, right? Because that's exactly what it sounds like to me. Well, not Toya, right? Toya Johnson. That's what it was. They were having an emotional affair. And sometimes emotional affairs are even worse than sexual affairs, if you really want to be technical about the situation. So, I mean, it is what it is. He said that they got into it. He said he was done with her. He was done with the relationship. He asked her to leave, and next thing he knew, iron flew at him. And then he said after that, it went crazy after that. He said he don't, even when he was talking about it, he said, I really don't like to really touch on that because it's been so long ago and stuff like that. But yeah, he don't want to touch on it because he know that the shit is true. He know that he put hands on her. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. But this is my first time hearing about a damn flying iron, child. I still think this man be lying, but it is what it is. So now we're gonna go into the last part. No, this is the next to the last part. We're going to go into the other part about him talking about K. Michelle going on Love and Hip Hop, saying that he beat her up. So we're going to go ahead and listen to that part, and then we'll be back. Let's get into it.
while y'all talking about it, it started becoming a TV thing. Then she gets on TV and she says it on TV, and she's like, you know what? Actually, the TV thing is happening before she gets on Love and Hip Hop.
That's where I was going to go with this, because
that's when it happened. That's when it really got ugly, when she got on Love and Hip Hop. Because I was still, now, you know, when she got at the time she was getting on Love and Hip Hop, this is when she finds out that I'm actually, there's rumors in the streets that I'm engaged to Toya now. The same girl we were arguing about in the house. Now I'm supposedly engaged to her. So she, you know, I got the phone call right before. She's like, I know you don't think you about to embarrass me like that. And she was like, she's like, I'm gonna hit you where it hurts. And that's what she told me. She's like, I'm about to tell people you hit me. And I was like, bro, don't do that, bro. I'm like, nobody gonna believe that shit. Everybody know me. It's like, everybody know I don't do that. So, but I didn't give TV its full credit. Like, everybody does not know me. So it's like, once you say something on TV, you just trumped me again. So it's like, she's like, I'm gonna tell, you know, and I was like, people did believe that. I'm like, what? I'm like, I'll run from you before I hit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so it's like, but the crazy part is about it, bro. Like, I know that this story happened, but I am so over this story. I'm so over it. I can imagine. You know, I big blessings to her. I see her doing big things now, and I'm just like, I look at it as a part of the story. Like, it's a part of my story. It's like, it's not hindering me from anything anymore. And it's like, of course, I went into a depression and all this when I started seeing how people was treating me, thinking that I did something like that. But I was like, wow, TV is powerful. Like, that is crazy, you know. So I feel like now I'm coming back from that. It's like it's a war wound. I call it a war wound. You know?
Can we talk about the effects on you personally? Yeah. You just spoke about her going on TV, making these accusations of domestic violence. You hit her. You know in your heart, this is not something I did, and not something I would ever do. It's not even part of my character.
Exactly.
So take that part of it out for a second.
Okay.
What is, on the personal side, what are you losing at that point? What, you know, are you starting to I don't know, drink more heavily? Are you starting to smoke more heavily?
Drinking. My cars are disappearing. My house is disappearing. I'm like, all this stuff I got.
So you lost your cars and your house?
Yeah, stuff started, like my check, you know, I was like, I had a lot in my, you know, especially with the money I was making, but I still had bills, you know what I'm saying? So it took a little minute, but it started getting crazy. And I'm like, I think I was, when I lost my job, I was about to get married. I was about to get married when I got the news that this job is, and I'm like, wait, I'm about to get married, bro? What y'all talking about? You know, so it was like, all this stuff was happening at the wrong time. So it's like, I was doing this, and because of my actions and that led to this, I started doing this. I was like, because on one side, people are like, you know, I'm in, and then when the Love and Hip Hop things happens, you know, I'm stable, you know. But once the Love and Hip Hop thing started, it started the decline. Like, it was like I started losing things. I was like, wait a minute. I can't go get the job back, because, you know, I took out I had money saved up, so I was living off some, but I was like, I'm gonna get another job. Like, niggas know who I am, so I'm gonna go get another job. But it wasn't like that. It was like, no, you hit that girl. I was like, I never hit. What? Like, bro, I don't know if it was like niggas looking at me like a liability at that time. Like, this nigga a fuck his artist. Like, I don't know what it was. It just was like,
no, it's all above. You know
like,
that.
You know, so I was like, wow.
I worked at Bad Boy, so it was a lot that, you know, went on in our label. But you work for corporate, like,
exactly.
Harrison Records is very, very different from Bad Boy.
RCA, Sony, it's like,
correct. Those are corporate entities, and now on one hand, you're sleeping with your artists. On the other hand, you accuse of domestic violence. They can't touch you.
Exactly.
It's just that simple. What's up, guys? Thanks for sticking with me to the end of the video.
Okay, so now we're back again, and he's talking about when K Michelle went on Love and Hip Hop and how it ruined his life. Now, here's the discrepancy in the story. Okay, he said that he got the phone call that she was going on Love and Hip Hop, and that she told him that you think that you're gonna go and get married to this girl, and you think that you're gonna get away with it. I'm gonna go on Love and Hip Hop and tell everybody that you hit me. Well, let's be honest here. If you are a person that followed K Michelle since before Love and Hip Hop, as I did, she was already telling people that he hit her. She had already said it. If you listen to her What's the 901 mixtape, she had us a song called What Kind of Man Are You? Okay, well, what kind of man? And she says in the song, you become the enemy when you put your hands on me. That's the song. She said on Where They Do That At, she says, I don't understand how a man can look at this woman and want to throw hands. That's where they do that at. She did a remake to Lil Wayne's How to Love, where she talked about all of the men that she dated. And when it got to Memphitz, she was like, then I dated this pussy who thought that he was Diddy, but they shut that shit down. No more hits committee. Now, next time, I'll be a little smarter, living off my budget, trying to keep up with the Carters. That was about Memphitz. That was 2011. She also did a remake to Beyonce's Best Man I Ever Had, and it was retitled The Worst Man I Ever Had. Okay, so she had been talking about this long before she got on Love and Hip Hop. And you know, he was, you know, basically, but he made it worse for himself when he came out, because she never said his name. She never said his name, not one time. Never said his name. But those of us who was following her already knew who he was. So he came out and made himself, you know, known. And it didn't help that you got Toya, you got Rashida, you got Tamar, you got all these girls in the Sweet Valley High crew telling her that she was a liar. Then, you know, he's still saying that he didn't put his hands on her, even though it came out in court documents that there was a physical altercation. So he's still gonna stand down on it and still say that he never put his hands on her. That's what loses me with Memphitz, because you still gonna stand on there and say you didn't put your hands on her, even though it came out in court documents that you did. You feel what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Now, I guess we could dive into what he said about Toya as well, when he said that he resented her for watching the show that ruined his life, that is Love and Hip Hop. So we're going to get into that, and then we're going to get into the very last part about K Michelle and Toya, and then we're going to end the video because it's already 30 minutes long. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this part of the interview. Let's get into it.
How long were you and Toya married?
5 years.
You were married for 5 years.
Yeah, yeah.
No children together.
No. We was talking about it. We were talking about it. She really wanted a child, but I was like, I was such in a rebuilding phase that I couldn't even think about a kid at the time. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I was like, she, you know, and then it's like she had and I kind of started getting a little resentful at home, because I was just like, I started getting resentful because I was like, sometimes I would come home and she would be watching Love and Hip Hop, and I would be like, so the same show that ruined my life, that had part in doing this to me, you told me I couldn't go on there to defend myself, but you're I come in the house and you're watching it laughing and I'm about this guy, and I'm sitting there like, you didn't let me go defend myself. You didn't come with me to defend me. Like, I feel like as my queen, you're supposed to be like, let's go. Like, you're not about to say that about my husband and just get away with it. Not that she wasn't defending me in the streets, but on the platform that I needed it to be done on, it just wasn't. So I just was getting resentful at home. I moved out. I had my own place. Everybody's like, how you get in a house with your wife, but you also got a place somewhere else? And I was like, I had lost my defense mechanism or something. I'm like, you didn't really defend me, so I'm, I feel like this ain't gonna work out. Like, and that's what kind of happened. I was like, I want to go to LA and start over. And she's like, I'm gonna stay here in Atlanta. And I was like, all right, we can do that. And it was kind of like that. It was like a peaceful it was peaceful. We didn't really have no crazy divorce. It was kind of like, and then after the marriage boot camp thing, I just didn't feel like, even though she stayed with me there, she stayed with me through the lie detector test, and everybody saw that I passed the lie detector test, and everybody was like, wow, he passed the lie detector test. So all this happened to this man, he really didn't do that stuff. And I was like, you know what? At this point, I'm like, I'm gone. I don't even want to. This was a lot. This was a lot for one bad mistake that I made, a bad decision that I made. This was a lot. And I just wanted to walk away. So I walked away, and she ended up filing for divorce. I accepted. I knew it was coming. I just was gone. Mentally, I was gone. Emotionally, I was gone. Like, I was like, you know how many people turned their backs on me, bro? I was like, what the? Really? You all been running. Y'all been hanging with me. Y'all know me. Y'all see how I am around lady people, right? Y'all see how I am around ladies. Y'all know that you ain't never seen me be aggressive to like all this. Like, really? Like, of course, I'm always going to have a girl mad at me for something because I'm that, I'm always in a relationship with somebody or dating somebody. Yeah, you're always going to be mad because I'm just flat out. I'm a ladies man. I'm a lover boy boss. I ain't no fucking, I'm a lover boy. Like, you going to always be mad at me for something. I'm sorry. But it ain't evil. So it is what it is. Like, that's what it do. Like, I know now, I will never intertwine my business with my relationships again. Like, that was crazy. That was so wild and crazy. Like, I wish I could go back to myself then. I would slap the fire to myself right before I made that decision. Like, are you crazy? Do you know what you're about to do, man? Like, I wish I could do that, but I can't do that. So the only thing for me to do is keep going and
That's
keep
all you
my
can do.
yeah. It's war wounds, baby.
It's all you can do.
Yeah, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't gone. Just gotta have to regroup,
What's up, guys?
Okay, so he mentions marriage boot camp, and he was saying that he passed the lie detector test, so to speak, on marriage boot camp, and it came out that he never did it, which I find to be very funny because it came out in court documents that you actually did put your hands on K. Michelle. So how on earth were you able to pass a lie detector test? That's why those things are not admissible in court, because you can easily pass a lie detector test even when you're lying. So that lie detector test thing really don't matter to me. It doesn't. Let's see what else happened. Then he goes to say that he had never been aggressive to a woman. People know him to not be aggressive to women, but you were very aggressive to Toya on marriage boot camp, and she looked like she was afraid of you. Like, what are you talking about? But okay, now we're gonna go into the very last part of this interview, and this is what he talked about K. Michelle and Toya intertwining. So let's get into that part, and then we're gonna be up out of here.
In terms of your ex-wife Toya, because you speak very highly of her, it does seem like you feel a way, and I can understand it, that you weren't allowed to go on Love and Hip Hop, but overall, just listening to the tone in your voice and how you're wording things, you still have a lot of respect for that woman.
Oh yeah.
I noticed she has recently either gotten engaged or I don't know if she's married.
Oh, she's married. She married, got a kid, all that. Which blessings to her too. Like, it had to happen. It had to happen. Like,
okay, so do you feel like she's the one that got away, or do you think even now you made the right decision in letting that relationship kind of crumble?
She's definitely the one that got away, but I made a decision so bad right before I met her that it was coming into the marriage. I didn't realize it was coming, but when it came, I was like, how could it not come? It's coming. Like, I got this ex, she knew it was coming. I was like, I got this ex relationship. I'm like, she coming. She's coming. Like, she is coming. She already threatened, she already had accused me of cheating on her with you when she was catch me watching Tiny and Toya by myself. She's like, what's a grown man doing watching Tiny and Toya by himself? Like, I was like, I'm just looking, so she was already a thing there. So to actually marry you, yeah, she coming. It was so, whatever. One time I was in the house, we was in the house, and I heard a brick hit the window, and Toya asleep, and I get out the window, and I'm like, I'm looking at K Michelle run across the street and jump in the car. She had just bricked my house and jumps in the car with her friends, and I didn't even tell.
Get out of here.
Toya was like, "What?" Toya like, "What was that sound?" I was like, "Nothing." It's just like outside throwing stuff. Something hit the, but I saw her. Like it was so funny, bro. It was really a funny time, but it was like it wasn't good for me. It wasn't good for me. But I had funny moments.
You know,
like,
I saw
it was like
you.
thin line between love and hate. Remember how that was me? Yeah.
I actually saw you on an episode of Ayanla.
Oh yeah.
Yo, and you really look like you was in some pain.
Yeah, just stuff from my family, stuff from my past with my dad, the way my dad was killed. It's like my story is just weird and crazy, but I know it's all for the good. It's all these war wounds got to be adding up for something right now, you know. So that's what I look at it like, you know. So coming from my dad being murdered by a KKK member that was an informant, chopped up, burned, never. We don't have a funeral for my dad.
Hold on, so slow down. Your dad, I knew he was murdered. I didn't know how.
Yeah, he was a zoning officer, and he walked in on a gun deal, I guess going bad, and he was just coming there to serve papers for a zoning situation, and they didn't let him leave. And it came out that we couldn't find the body, and that's when we found out that it was because he was dismembered and burned. So I mean, that guy, he's in prison for the rest of his life, but my mom is fixing up the properties that he used to live in because we were awarded all this property. So my mom is like, my mom is remarried, of course, but now she's like fixing up the property, and it's about this, it's Airbnbs now. It's like a whole little family business we have going on where we rent out the houses, we redid them and everything. So yeah. So coming from Memphis, that was the fire I came to New York with. That happened to me before I moved to New York. So coming to New York at 20 years old and all that fire and all those things I did, and I couldn't. I was being driven by that, but to be able to slow down, and then here comes the divorce, here comes the scandal, here comes all these things and all the success, and I'm like, whoa! I'm like, I don't even have the energy for all that no more. I'm like, now you're sitting here talking to Mickey Wright again, like, I'm still Memphitz, but I know how to take the Memphitz jacket off. At first, I never knew how to take the Memphitz jacket off and be Mickey Wright sometimes. And it's like now I can take the Memphitz jacket off when it's time for him. I'll zip it on and be Memphitz for everybody, and this lively A&R character that's on TV and do these things, and I can do that. But then I have to be Mickey Wright, this dad now, and a family man, and I got bigger dreams. I got bigger things on my mind these days, and I can look at my war wounds and say those were decisions. Those are the war wounds of decisions that I made as a young guy, And it's cool. I mean, it ain't cool, but it's cool. I get it.
What's up, guys? Thanks for sticking with me to the end of the video. Truly appreciate.
Alrighty then, and that was the last part of the portion about K Michelle with Memphitz. Okay, that was the very last part of the interview. So, in so many words, he resented Toya for watching Love and Hip Hop because there was a time where Mona did offer to let them both on the show to defend himself. They were offered to be on the show when she was on there. Then when they didn't do that, they did offer to bring them to the reunion to let them defend themselves. And that's just wasn't in the cards for Toya. Toya didn't want to do that. So then he resented her for it. And then, after all of that, all that stuff that happened, he lost everything. He wound up divorcing Toya. He felt like Toya is the one that got away, but the relationship was on thin ice when he first got involved. This is the same woman that he was accused of cheating with at the time. And then on top of that, it was just coming off a bad time. So it probably was like bad timing in the words of Latasha Scott. It was bad timing. But I do, he spoke on the death of his father with the Ku Klux Klan. The dude is in jail for the rest of his life. They got his properties. They're making it Airbnb. So that's the best thing to do. So I can get with him on that. But I do think that Memphitz is still deluded because he really sitting up here acting like he didn't put his hands on K. And I still believe that he put his hands on K. I don't care what he say. He put his hands on K. I don't think that he's as innocent as he's portraying himself to be. And I feel like he was a womanizer. And I do think that there was something really going on between him and Toya, because it's funny how that's the woman that he married after he broke up with K Michelle and he was sitting up there confided in her about how fucked up his relationship was. It was an emotional affair, but that's just what I take from it. But this is a premiere, so I wonder what you guys are thinking right now. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and leave it in the comment section, and we will continue. All right. So with that being said, this be your boy Scotty by Nature TV. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video, and also be sure to like, rate, comment. Did I already say that? Oh, be sure to click on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever video drops. And also, if you want to follow me on any form of social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, and my TikTok will be down below in the description box. With that being said, you guys, your boys up out of here. Until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. If you're in the chat, make sure you leave in blue hearts in the chat for my girl, Danita Rashawn. And we're up out of here, y'all. Until the next video, I will talk to you guys a little bit later. Bye.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Tremel. I just wanted to say that I have a new project that's out. It's called Mixed Feelings. It's on all streaming platforms. I would hope that you would go and check it out. It's a really good feel of an album. It's got everything you need and more. It's got R&B, it's got a little bit of pop, it's got a little bit of hip hop. It's everything that you need and more. It's out all streaming platforms, like I said. Please check me out, and you can also follow me at IAM_Tremel. That's IAM_TRAMEL. Check me out. I hope to hear from you.